How you say what you say is absolutely critical to making the impression you want on your audience. The very first thing your audience sees about you is your body. So we need to focus on the nonverbal communication so that we can communicate clearly that we're confident, competent, and credible. To begin, we want to be balanced in how we hold our body. Balanced in the head, balanced in the shoulders, and balanced in the hips. This means we have to place our feet parallel to each other directly under our shoulders. This will help us stand balanced. If our feet are splayed to the side, it's very easy to sway side to side. And while for us this can be self-soothing, much like when a little kid sucks his or her thumb, for your audience, if you're swaying side to side or rocking forward and back, you look uncomfortable or worse, shifty. So we want to make sure we stand balanced. If you see any politician or any executive, before they start, they'll be standing completely balanced with their arms down by their sides. In fact, if you go to the tailor to get your clothes fitted for you, this is how they have you stand. Now, we're not going to stand in that position the entire time. It's very awkward and exposed. Instead, we can use movement. I recommend movement in 3 places. The first place to move is when you start a presentation. Walk forward into the threat, the audience. That makes you look confident. Similarly, when people ask you questions, perhaps during a Q&A session, take a step towards the asker when he or she asks a question. Makes you again look more confident. The third place to move is during transitions. When you move from one point to the next, physically move as well. That tells your audience that you're transitioning, and it gives them something to pay attention to. However, be sure to avoid the advice that stand-up comedians give. Never walk during the punchline. Now, most of us aren't telling jokes on stage, but our punchline might be our call to action, our ask for funding, our request of our audience. Make sure you stand firm when you're asking your important punchline. If you're moving around during your punchline, you're distracting the audience. So we want to be balanced in our stance. We want to move at the beginning of presentations. We want to move forward into questions, and we move in transition. That brings us to our hands. What do we do with these things? One position we've already covered, down by your side. The next position is simply right in front of your belly button, above your belt. In this position, your hands are nice and relaxed. They're not clenched tight. The position really doesn't matter as long as it is relaxed. Have a little distance between your elbow and your body. Notice that if I hold that same position and bring my hands up, it makes me look tight. My shoulders rise and my elbows come in. So I just want my hands resting here. You can practice by simply opening your hands like you're going to give somebody a big hug and then bring them here. So this is your second resting place. Whenever you gesture, you want to make sure your gestures break the width of your shoulders. This feels awkward because it feels like you're reaching really big, but to your audience, it looks very embracing. So get your elbow away from your body and extend them out. We want to avoid all of our gestures being in front of our chest. When I do this, it looks like I'm protecting myself, and my gestures look like a dinosaur. So we want to be out and extended. The next thing we need to think about is our eye contact. In North American culture, audiences expect eye contact. I'm often asked, how long do I look at someone? And unfortunately, my answer has to be long enough, but not too long. There is no specified amount of time that you should look at a particular audience member. Make a connection. If you've looked too long, your audience will turn away from you. You want to spread your eye contact around the audience, but not in a patterned way. Connect with people as you go. If you're in a very large room, divide it into sections. Look at one section, then another section. We connect with our audience through our eye contact. It also gives us very useful information. I can see if my audience is becoming disengaged or bored or if they look confused. So not only am I showing them respect and attention by looking at them, I'm reading information back from them, and that informs what I need to do. The way you use your body matters. It conveys your confidence and your credibility. We need to stand balanced. We need to gesture broad and in an open way, and we need to make sure that we connect with our eye contact.